the NBA Finals last night, Game 3 between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. The Bucks finally were able to exact some revenge and get into the win column, winning 120-100 over the Phoenix Suns, trimming the series deficit to 2-1. And as much concern as we've all had about the Milwaukee Bucks trailing 0-2, the reality is, and especially coming into this game, the reality is this was a deficit that we knew that they were familiar with. This wasn't foreign to them. They trailed the Brooklyn Nets 0-2 in a couple series ago in the second round of the Eastern Conference, in the Eastern Conference semifinals. This is a Milwaukee Bucks team that is very used to trailing 0-2 series deficits this postseason. So nothing was surprising in terms of the fact that they would play confidently. Their mindsets would be turning a new page. They'd feel refreshed. Nothing was surprising in that regard. What you got from Giannis Antetokounmpo yesterday, an absolute masterpiece, 41 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 13 of 17 from the free throw line. He was actually shooting it incredibly well from the free throw line. In fact, the broadcasters were trying to not downplay the significance of his free throws. He was 14 of 23 from the floor, 38 minutes. But this game felt very much like Game 2 against the Phoenix Suns back in Phoenix, when Giannis also went for 42 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. The difference was, sure, he didn't shoot as well from the free throw line. That's a difference in this game. But the main difference was Giannis was the same productive, had provided the same production that he did in Game 2 yesterday. He just got the complimentary support from his teammates yesterday that he did not get in Game 2. Jrue Holiday finally showed up, had a breakthrough game, 21 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. And most importantly, he shot it efficiently. 8 for 14, 5 for 10 from the three-point line. He had a stretch in the third quarter where he scored 12 points in the third quarter, hit like 3 straight three-pointers to really kind of break the game open for the Bucks, which is what they weren't getting. Middleton chipped in 18 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. So you look at Game 2, okay, Giannis goes for the 40-point double-double. The only person along with LeBron James and Michael Jordan to do that in back-to-back finals games, and Shaquille O'Neal, rather, LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal. So the only reason why this outcome was different than Game 2 was, okay, instead of Jrue Holiday going 7 for 21 in Game 2, and instead of Chris Middleton merely chipping in 11 points on 5 of 16 shooting in Game 2, he shot it efficiently, 6 of 14. Jrue Holiday, 8 of 14. And you combine that now, that help, with what Giannis gives you, a 40 and 10, 2 straight games, yeah, you're going to win the game. And so I was just impressed with the fact that Giannis, again, this is not even 2 weeks removed from his hyperextended knee, and he's giving you the same kind of production, same kind of effort, same kind of intensity as he's been doing throughout the entire postseason, but that hasn't diminished his level of play at all. In fact, he's elevated his level of play in these finals. It's been extremely impressive to watch what he's been doing. And more importantly, Coach Mike Budenholzer finally made adjustments, not offensively, defensively. The biggest Achilles heel to the Milwaukee Bucks. 2 things: their guard play and defending the guard play of the Phoenix Suns. Were they going to get production from Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton? And could they slow down Devin Booker and Chris Paul? Well, yesterday, they did a great job against those 2 guys. Obviously, Chris Paul still put up 19 points, but he was defended much more methodically. They weren't allowing him to probe as much. They weren't allowing him to call out different switches quite as effectively. They had personnel on the floor that could switch well. Then they bottled up Devin Booker, held him to 10 points on 3 of 14 shooting. He was clearly gassed, but a lot of that is to the Bucks' credit for hounding Devin Booker throughout the entire night. Monty Williams couldn't even play him the fourth quarter. That's how far the game was, and that's how far removed Devin Booker was from the activity that was going on. So they did a nice job locking in on him. The ball movement was better. Obviously, you got good production again from Pat Connaughton, 2 for 4 from the three-point line, 8 points. Bobby Portis, the Energizer Bunny, 11 points. Had a nice throwdown dunk as well. I love the energy that he's been coming in and providing. And so finally, we were starting to see Coach Budenholzer make some defensive adjustments. And that was the biggest question mark. Could they contain Devin Booker and Chris Paul? And could they find a way to unleash a bit more of Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton? Because it was almost perplexing how inefficient they were in the first two games and their inability to score in the first two games. So that was impressive to me. And then what I love most about this performance is not just Giannis Antetokounmpo's stat line. What I love the most is that Giannis, and one of the things that I appreciate about Giannis is as much as we criticize and we scold and we ridicule and we shred his inability to shoot from the perimeter, what I love is that he's got the backbone and the mental fortitude to not let that even discourage him at all from taking shots from the perimeter. He will still shoot from the outside, feeling confidently. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the pundits, what the media experts say, that he can't shoot from the perimeter. The fact that he's willing to try, willing to fail, willing to expose his flaws is what's extremely impressive. Why do we criticize Ben Simmons so much? It's not so much that Ben Simmons simply can't shoot the basketball. It's not simply the fact that Ben Simmons has an inability to score from beyond 5 feet. No, it's his inability to try. It's his unwillingness to even attempt a shot from outside the restrictive area. And sometimes, as we saw in Game 5 against the Hawks, he'll pass up a wide open dunk because he's a little bit timid, because he's refusing to shoot. Giannis isn't a good outside shooter. There's no question about it. But you can't claim that he's scared to try to shoot, that he's scared to attempt a shot from the outside. Because the bottom line is, sure, he shot 0 for 2 from the three-point line yesterday. Do I want him shooting a bunch of threes? No. Would I prefer that he operate closer to the rim on the block? Absolutely. But the bottom line is, even though he would be so much more efficient there, he would score so many more points, and it would come so much easier for him down on the block. Absolutely true. The fact of the matter is, he's unafraid to at least take the shot from the outside. Again, 0 for 2 from the three-point line, and you know what? I don't really care. We can't have it both ways. We can't tell a guy, hey, you can't shoot, so go work on your shot in the offseason, but don't try to apply it at all in the postseason. That's being hypocritical. We want the guy to work on his jump shot. He's working on his jump shot. Hasn't always manifested. But we can't just all of a sudden tell him, go away from it. That's how you build that backbone. That's how you develop that psychological edge that you can make these shots in the postseason, is by trying, by merely attempting shots. And that's the thing that I love the most about Giannis. And even from the free throw line, I don't care that he takes 10 to 12 to 15 seconds, that he's got his routine. The fact of the matter is, he's willing to try. He practices. He puts in the work. Sure, he's not the best shooter, but he's making attempts and making strides to be better. And that's something that you can always appreciate about someone.